The social dilemma. Social media has a huge impact in our society in terms of politics. First is the election integrity. Citizens need to be convinced that changes are real and deserve their confidence. Secondly is the legal voter suppression. They used social media to influence the outcome of an election by discouraging or preventing some groups of people to vote, whose purpose is to reduce voting or registering to vote by the targeted groups or particular community. Third is the foreign election interference. The foreign election interference are attempts of the government to influence the election in another country. And lastly, more tribalism in social media. It is primarily occurred in a small hunter-gatherer groups as opposed to a larger societies or civilizations, with a negative impact in a political context that mean discriminatory behavior or attitudes in other parties or groups. They use the social media platforms to manipulate public opinion, to spread disinformation, to spread propaganda, and to gain hatred sometimes against political opposition. Voting is the most building blocks of democracy, and we are at risk of losing it. Democracy crumbled quickly. For an example, the 2016 elections in the United States. Facebook impacted the elections campaign and the election results and online advertising. Facebook has under intense scrutiny over its role in the 2016 cycle, including as a tool for Russian meddling in the United States election. Russia didn't hack Facebook. Russia used that Facebook created for legitimate advertisement and legitimate users, and they applied it to a nefarious purpose. The 5 things that I've learned from the film are: first is that want the people to know that everything they're doing online is being watched and being tracked. Every single action it takes is being carefully monitored, recorded, and measured. Second, there are some technical engineers whose job is to use your psychology against you. Third is the fake news. The fake news spreads 6 times faster than trueness. Some can make a lot of money by spreading misinformation or fake news. Fourth, the social media dig deeper up to the brainstem and take over kids' sense of self and identity. Fifth, the social dilemma itself. We are forced to use technology platforms that are not aligned with the public or social good. The one quote that I took from the film is, "If you're not paying for the product, then you are the product." If the service you are consuming is free and is still making profits every year, then you are indeed being sold and as a product to someone else. For an example, the Facebook. We are not paying for the Facebook, but it gives us more ads to suggest that you might simply like it. Advertising is its main source of income. The advertisers targeted ads to the right user, and it only gets paid if someone clicks the ad links. That's how it works. The one key issue or point in the documentary that I observed that I think is worth an analysis and discussion is, according to Tristan Harris, the social dilemma points out that many social networks exploit human weakness by designing with something called positive intermittent reinforcement in mind. Social media can be very alarming in some ways that it can manipulate and control us. This can lead to us an epidemic of distraction sickness, where you are unable to concentrate and lose attention and time. It can also affect our healthy behavior. Study shows that individuals who visited a social media site at least 58 times a week or 3 times more likely to feel more socially isolated and depressed.